In the optics panel, we have the option to remove chromatic aberration. Chromatic aberration is that bizarre, a magenta, sometimes green, sometimes cyan, edging, fringing, if you will. And it just has to do with physics again, where the red, greens, and blues are not lining up perfectly. Some of it has to do with the quality of the lens. Other things just have to do with life itself. So to remove the chromatic aberration, we just click on this little guy there, and it should be done. Let's see if we actually have any chromatic aberration in this image. That's at 100. Let's go 1, 2, 3. And let's just come up here where things are, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to see it. Oh, there you go. You'll see it along here, here, here. You see that magenta? See that green? There's a magenta right here and in there. I know it's not much, but we have the option to get rid of it. We just got rid of it. So having chromatic aberration turned on for every image, I believe, is a must. This next one is going to be fun to watch as well. So I'm going to come over here and choose Fit and View. Now, we know that this was taken with a 24 millimeter Nikkor lens, f2.8 lens. It's a good quality lens. There's no doubt about it. And let's just see what using the profile corrections option will do for us. So if I click on that, we just saw our image change. And if I do this again, and then click it, you can see that there was a little bit of barrel distortion, and the software kind of pushed the center in a little bit. That's why we saw what we saw. All right, so now the default setup here, default lens profiles, Nikon, and it found the 24 millimeter lens, f2.8, and the profile is for that lens. So this is the model, and this was the profile. Just a profile name. If I had created this profile myself and then installed it, it might say John's Nikon 24, right? But that's why we have the same names for those things. Okay, so this is Nikon AF Nikkor 24. This is Adobe Nikon AF Nikkor 24. Correction amounts, we have distortion and vignetting. So if I were to take my distortion, you don't do this, all right? If the only reason why you would want to do a manual distortion correction is if profile for your lens is not in the database. So this is what I think the image looked like before, and now we're pushing things back. So I'm just going to put this back to the default. So vignetting is either the lightening or the darkening in the corners of your image. So if the corners of your image up here, here, down and down are lighter than the rest of the image, well, that means we should be actually playing with the vignetting and possibly darkening some of the edging down. Vignetting was put inside the image editing software of the world because engineers needed to remove the dark corners in our images. The dark corners captured in our images were from the lens hood and not having either the, most likely not having the correct lens shade, depth of lens shade on for that lens. So as an example, the depth of the lens shade for my 24 Nikkor is about 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch. The lens shade for my Nikkor 50mm lens is almost double that. It all has to do with angle of view and all that fun stuff. Anyways, so what you do is if you had the darkening in there, then you would come over here to lighten it. Right? You see how the corners, see how the whole image, but mostly the corners get lightened. And if there was a lightening going on of some nature, then you would want to darken. Now, a lot of people want to do some darkening with vignetting and all that kind of stuff. There's other places that you can do that. This is not for it. This is just to compensate for the optics of your lens. Other forms of vignetting is for the creative process. So if we come down here, we can see we have something called defringe. Now, having this as an option is only necessary if we've got some of that fringing I was talking about and showing you earlier, where the chromatic aberration did not get rid of that. Then you can get rid of your purple or your green defringing. These guys here work similar to sliders in the color panels, where you can expand or contract what is affected and what is not affected, right? Not a lot going on. We just need to make sure that these guys are turned on at some point. All the other previous panels are not affected by this, but this needs to be turned on. Defringing, the better the glass that we have today and the better the sensors we have today, the less we actually have to worry about defringing. So that's the optics panel. Not a lot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can actually do this automatically. But notice that now it reads custom. So I'm going to come over here and go default. If I choose auto, then I think if I have a bunch of images in Bridge shot with various lenses, then the software will automatically pick up the various lenses that were in use. And we'll see this a little bit later on. I'm going to show you how to automate a lot of the stuff that we've just talked about. But for now, let's just get rid of that and go into something called lens blur.